Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Week in Review with me, your hostess, all in good fun. It's October 28th, and we are in day 28 of the government shutdown, second longest in U.S. history. The only time it was longer was the last time Donald Trump was in office. If we get to November 4th, Election Day, and the government remains shut down, it will be the longest in history. Speaking of that Election Day, federal government's pretty upset with the state of California because they have a ballot measure that would allow them to redistrict and elect more Democrats. They're so upset they are threatening to send federal monitors to polling places in California. Well, Governor Gavin Newsom of California has said he's going to respond by sending state monitors to monitor the monitors. I know, sounds like a tongue twister. In more tragic news, over the last few days we had several mass shootings across the United States. We have officially had more mass shootings in 2025 than we've had days in the year. United States ranks 130th in the whole world for safety. Let's move on to a cheerier topic, Taco and the tariffs. Taco, Trump always chickens out. Back in July, he threatened to raise tariffs against Mexico from 25% to 30%, but then agreed to put a 90-day hold on it. Well, the 90 days is up, and he and President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico are back in trade talks, so we'll see how that goes. Speaking of trade, well, in Canada, they've been airing a television commercial featuring former President Ronald Reagan talking about how bad tariffs are, how they're bad for the economy and they never work. Well, that really pissed off the occupier of the White House, who now says he's not having any more trade talks with Canada. Well, that hadn't served us really well. Canada's been boycotting the United States. A couple of our states haven't been getting energy, and the tourist industry is really suffering. Places like Las Vegas, lots of empty hotel rooms. Disney World, not seeing the Canadian tourists they're used to seeing. Moving along, the government decided, without approval of Congress, because Congress isn't in session, they decided to send $20 billion to Argentina to help bail out their struggling economy. Meanwhile, 1 out of 8 Americans relies on the SNAP program for food. 1 out of 8 Americans needs that food, and SNAP program doesn't have any funding. But we sent $20 billion to Argentina. And then at the same time, lots of Americans are having to spend 2 times as much or 3 times as much for their health care as what they used to pay before because of the big, ugly fuck you budget bill and the government shutdown. Speaking of the government shutdown, Triple P, Pam Bondi, that stands for Peter Protector Pam Bondi, and Trash Patel are doing everything they can in their power to hide those files, make sure nobody ever sees them, and y'all know who's in those files. Doesn't take rocket science. That White House chomo, Fotis, I'm sure he's in those files. We need to see them, but they prefer to just protect criminals rather than take care of the American people, and that's the Week in Review. Have a lovely day.